with fire damage on the vineyards, it's a really difficult issue to solve because the intensity of the fire affects the vines differently. And so when we had our fire this year, I literally had to, and as a company we had to sit down and understand a lot of basic science, but there was no method to apply. So we literally had to stain with, we had to stain the trunks, we had to visually assess the vines, scar the vines, and work out whether we felt comfortable with the long-term productivity and health of the vines. And when we were sufficiently comfortable that the vines were so damaged that we actually removed the vines, and we looked to the future about what varieties we like to grow that are suitable for that site, what clones of that variety are suitable, and then we plant on a suitable rootstock if necessary, and we follow that approach so that we're completely understanding the reasoning, because the last thing we want to do is dig out a vine that's been in the ground for 15 years, but in certain cases after a bushfire we might have to do that. Retention of smoke's a bit of a tricky issue at the moment. There's a lot of science and a lot of research happening in that area. We do a lot of testing before we pick our grapes, and we actually go to the extent of sampling berries and sending them off for analysis, but we also do micro-ferments, and we assess those wines and get scientific data back on potential contaminants for smoke. And where we're sufficiently comfortable, we have a very low threshold and a detection limit for smoke, and when we feel that there's any concern, we choose not to pick the wine. The compounds that we're looking for they're unique to wood. It's degraded lignin, and lignin is a woody plant tissue, and so when it burns it degrades and it presents itself as a compound that we can detect. And the detection is also indicating potential for smoke, because smoke itself can be made up of the grass that burnt, the eucalypt tree that was near it. It can be thousands of different compounds, but the compounds we look for, the industry really believes detect smoke taint, and we track those from pre-harvest, and we've done it over the past few years through fermentation and post-harvest, and so now we can predict with absolute confidence coming into harvest if there's anything that we're concerned about. We choose not to pick it, and that's really unfortunate because it's a whole year's work to get those grapes to that position, but it creates a problem down the track for the winemakers and the wines themselves to have smoke tainted wines, so we just choose not to bother.